What's going on, guys? Welcome back. My voice is breaking, and it's because I'm sad. It's because I'm sad that Ruud Van Nistelrooy is leaving Manchester United. We've just had some breaking news coming in now from loads of journalists, not just Ruud Van Nistelrooy. Rene Hack, Carrington, Pieter Morel are also leaving as coaches. All these staff that was brought in over the summer, all these, brand new ideas and fresh coach and tactics and and all this kind of stuff, they are also going as well. And there's an official statement from Manchester United. So it says, Ruud is and always will be a Manchester United legend. We are grateful for his contribution and the way in which he has approached his role throughout the time with the club. He will always be very welcome at Old Trafford. Rene Hack, Carrington, and Pieter Morel have also departed, and we wish them well for the future. We will confirm the full men's first team coaching composition in due course. Saying they're very grateful for his contribution, obviously lovely words and stuff. And look, we were discussing this afternoon, wasn't we, in terms of Ruud Van Nistelrooy, what he'd done for us coming in as an interim. 4 games, you can argue a couple of them were easy ones in terms of Leicester in the Cup, and then you had PAOK in the Europa League. But you can still say we still needed to advance in the Carabao. It's not always a given. Europa League's another one as well, where we actually haven't won in a year. So getting a win for the first time in 380 days, I think it was, that Ruud Van Nistelrooy did. That's another kind of feather in his cap. Don't care if it's against a Greek side. He did it. Chelsea game, a lot of people was expecting us to get absolutely slapped in that. What happened? We went there. Well, I say we went there. We was at Old Trafford. Got a respectable draw, I would probably say, and was probably the better team in that situation. And then the Leicester game of the weekend, first time he scored 3 goals and kept a clean sheet at Old Trafford, and God knows how long. So in terms of his short stint, what he did at a club, I think I speak on the behalf of the majority of fans who are happy with what he did, and obviously have that emotional connection to him, whether it's from when he was a player, an unbelievable striker, probably one of the best finishers that we've ever had at the club. Everyone had an affinity with him like that, similar to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you want to say. Because obviously he was a similar position, an absolute killer up top. And you could just tell that he when he left PSV, obviously he was a first team coach there, and he's coming to United as an assistant. It was Erik ten Hag who wanted him there. Someone who knows the fabric of the club. Someone who has a great connection with the players, understands what it's be like to be, you think about all the situations with Arsenal where he's almost being bullied on the pitch at times and dealing with all these kind of tough situations. So he knows what it takes to be, he's been at big clubs. He was at Real Madrid as well, obviously. So having him in was, in my opinion, I thought it was a coup. It was a great thing to do, bringing him in. I don't think if you would have said to the people in June, Ten Hag would be gone and all the stuff that we've hired would be gone as well, I think you'd be surprised. Maybe not with Erik ten Hag, because there was a few people who thought, he might end up going after a couple of months, especially on this channel. So that maybe not as much surprising, but to say that we've gone and got a new goalkeeping, fucking hell, can't speak. Goalkeeper staff, what the fuck, goalkeeper coach, Jesus Christ, goalkeeper coach, fitness coach, all these new guys, and obviously Amorim coming in, who's arrived at Carrington today, wants to bring in, 4 or 5 of his coaches, which I believe one is an analyst. You've got a couple of first team coaches. He wants his own staff there, and I take no issue with that whatsoever. I've seen quite a lot of people online kind of moaning about the fact that, he's bringing in his staff, and it's a little bit disrespectful to get rid of Ruud, but I don't see it like that at all. I think you have to bring in your own guys who know how you work, who can get you to a certain style. Kind of keeping Ruud there just for the sake of it, it's like, I get it, I understand it. He would he be lingering around? Would Ruud even want to be like a 4th team coach? I've just explained how he came to United, and he was almost proud and happy to go and to become an assistant coach, because it's United. And he wants to get a bit more, wants to learn the ropes a little bit more, I'd say. I'm sure he's got interest now. That interim spell that he's just had, where he's, and people may look at it saying, it's 4 games, you always get a manager bounce. It's bollocks. You don't always get a manager bounce. But him doing that will only be an extra kind of feather in his cap for clubs that was already interested. I know Burnley was one of them, and I think there was a couple of clubs around Europe who was interested in bringing him in. Maybe even Ajax might look at him. I'm not sure. But he's obviously got qualities. I think he's got a tremendous relationship with the players that are on the pitch. You see him and Casemiro, him and Rasmus Højlund and Garnacho. Like, he connects with him. And I always felt that was something that Erik ten Hag didn't have. I always felt like it was missing there. There was like kind of, I don't know. I always relate to him as like a teacher, whereas Ruud was like he was like a big brother. But also he's obviously tactically inept as well, because tactically good, because you look at the work they did at PSV, finishing second, won a couple of cups. You know, he's got credentials. He's got credentials. So I have no doubt wherever it is that he chooses to go now, I'm sure he'll do well, and I'm sure he'll do a good coach. And who knows, he might end up coming up against Ruben Amorim in the future. So first and foremost, from me personally, and I'm sure you guys know it anyway, I wish him the absolute very best. Nothing bad to say about him whatsoever. I know a lot of the players wanted to keep hold of him. You saw Matthias de Ligt and the words he was saying. Casemiro spoken about him in awe. Loads of players. And when you listen to how people speak about someone, that's where, you know, when you hear these kind of rumors or whatever it is, coaches that work with him, everyone says he's been amazing. So yeah, nothing bad to say whatsoever. I'm a little bit gutted it didn't work out for him, because I feel like he can offer something, but it's the blend. It's like any team, do you know what I mean? Like, you have to get the blend right, and Amorim knows that. And Amorim even said in his, I think it was his presser yesterday, that you know, I'm going to be straightforward with him. I'm a very open person. I'll tell it how it is. And he's been like that with Sporting Lisbon as well. And that's exactly what he's done. He would have gone over, I reckon he would have gone over today and would have just said, like, when, you know, Ruud, with all due respect, I think he was an incredible player. I think you could be an incredible manager. I really want to thank you for what you've done in terms of your interim spell so far at the minute. But I have my ideologies. I have a certain way that I want to work. I have staff for specific things and specific roles. And it's nothing against you. It's just, this is the direction that I want to go. And if he wants to do that, you know, that's fine. That's absolutely fine. But I felt like bringing Ruud in over the summer, I felt like there was something there. Do you know what I mean? I was like, I like this appointment. And a lot of you guys said the same thing as well. So, yeah. Right, let's get to the comments then. Please do smash the like on the video for us. Not because Ruud is gone. I don't mean that. But if you just can whilst you're there, it'd be nice. And hit that subscribe button. We're currently on 7,419. Sorry, not 4,000. Deducting 3,000 off there. 3,000 of you lovely people. Brian Casey, evening, Nick. Sad to see him go, but the right decision. Fletcher survives again. Yeah, Darren Fletcher's still there, working in some sort of capacity. I believe he's the technical director, though. Or Jason Wilcox now the technical director. And now Darren Fletcher's got another role, which I have no idea what it is. So, no idea. Amy Rock saying bummer, in terms of not calling me a bummer. Are you, Amy? She's not calling me a bummer. She's saying this is situations a bummer, right? Yeah. Aaron Gregory, momentum he got in the last few games may land him a job at Palace, Wolves, depending on what happens in the international break. Well, you make a great point there, because now's the time where clubs around are looking, you know, your West Hams, for example. Do you want to get rid of Lopetegui, take this positive manager in Ruud Van Nistelrooy? We liked what he did at United. We liked what he did at PSV. I'm not saying he would be a good fit. It was just the first club that came to my head when I'm thinking about other ones looking at it. Maybe in Everton, somewhere. I don't know. But I think he can get a job at best, lower team in the Premier League, or higher team in the Championship, or somewhere around Europe, like a PSV kind of level. I think he can go and do that. And I think he'll do well as well. I really, really do. Absolutely deserves a job at a top club, and who knows, we could see him back at Old Trafford dugout in the next few years. Look, I want to say, I'm going to go back to comments in a minute, but there's a lot of sentiment around this, and people are gutted, and people say we should have kept him on. Maybe he should have been considered for the job. We have been down this road before with Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and the whole interim legend striker coming in, doing a job. I'm not saying he would have done the exact same, because Ruud's got better credentials than Ole. I mean, Ole got, he relegated with Cardiff, he'd worked at Mold, he didn't have any credentials to be in that job, but obviously had a really good manager bounce, so then they took a chance on him, and then, you know, 2.5 years down the line, essentially I'd never won a trophy, did some good things but didn't work out. So I never thought he would fully get the job anyway. I was never kind of on those lines. I always felt like he would come in as an interim. I will say though, when we was discussing it, when he got hired as an assistant, I was like, well, maybe this is a contingency for INEOS, because if he goes mid-season, they could bring him in until the end of the season and then bring in the new manager. But I don't think they could afford to not write a season off, but almost do that, because it's like the players don't know whether they're coming or going. There's doubt there, there's unreason, and you know what happened with Ragnick in it. So you don't want that situation again. And I can see why they've just gone, look, Ruben, it's now or never. And Ruben's gone. I'm there. Let's go. But I want this. I want to bring in my own coaching staff. I want to have a little bit of a say in the recruitment. I probably won't use this guy or this player. Maybe we'll be dropping a Rashford, or you just don't know. So, yeah, obviously he's got certain demands, and we'll just have to see how those play out. I see Ruud getting a top job as a manager somewhere else. That's from Joshua Owen. Random guy saying, hope everyone's having a nice afternoon. Nice to see you, Random. I hope you're good, mate, and congrats on completing your course. Christopher Humphrey saying, I see Leicester maybe looking for a new manager. Exactly, this is what I'm saying, Chris. This is what I mean. There will be other teams out there who are looking at potential managers. And why not? Why not take a punt on Ruud Van Nistelrooy, innit? Why not? Because, you know, what bad can you say about him? There's a couple of critiques in the Netherlands about, you know, certain things he did in PSV in terms of maybe not having a plan B when shit went tits up, heavily relying on certain players like Xavi Simons and Cody Gakpo, and then when they weren't available, again, not really having that secondary plan. A couple of question marks in Europe. Like, there were things there, but if I'm a Premier League club now, I'm at least considering him to bring in something different. And look, I'm sure if Ruud looks on his phone right now, I'm sure he's got plenty of options. Random guy with a super chat, as always, absolute legend. Ruud leaving is a necessity. Exactly, Random. Me and you, great minds think alike. Dan's in the chat as well. Big up, Dan. I'm fine with Ruud leaving. The manager should have his own staff. He'll do good wherever he goes. We need managers to develop a relation with players rather than spending time to do the same with colleagues. Not commentary, actually. I just checked the news around the manager situation. Lampard's close to getting that. Good luck to them. My God. Chivy in the chat as well saying, hit the likes, people. Yeah, let me know your thoughts and feelings about his... I want to hear some different kind of bits. So his thoughts about him as an interim manager. Would any of you ever consider him for the full-time job? Just a question to throw out there. I wouldn't, obviously, personally, but would any of you guys? What kind of effect do you think he had on the club with him coming in? Do you think it's more on the players that you can see, the personal relations? Yeah, just your overall thoughts on it. Because I think, look, I said when I did the pros and cons this afternoon, I expected this news at some point. I said even before 7, it'll happen. Because it just felt like, you listen to all the reports around it. I was listening to Andy Mitten speaking last night, and Talk of the Devil, saying I don't personally see Ruud staying on, and obviously he knows him very well. So yeah, it's been a bit of a whirlwind, but it always is a whirlwind with Manchester United. I'm just happy that we're sat here now. It's an international break. We've got a new coach that's just come in. We're unbeaten in 4. There's confidence that's kind of flowing and jibbing about Old Trafford and Carrington at the moment. You know, the people above, Dan Ashworth, Wilcox, Brailsford, they're all settling in a bit more. They've been there for a good few months now. And now this is INEOS's decision. This is INEOS's choice. They stuck with Ten Hag initially because they thought, right, let's just see how we can work with a new structure. Let's see if things can turn around. Didn't happen. Shocking start to the season. Already been dragged behind by a bit, but luckily we can still get top 4 if the coach comes in and does really, really well, because it's 4 points between us and Arsenal. Do not forget that. Do not forget that. So, there's some positivity. I'm sure Ruben Amorim's looking at the situation and he's like, well, you know, the lads are smiling now. That's at least something. Starting to score goals. Bruno Fernandes looks good. Ugarte and Casemiro looks like a good partnership. And to be honest, how can Amorim come in reality and do much worse? You know what I mean? We're 13th in the league. We're 13th in the Europa League. All you've got to do is just get a string of wins going. My brain's going everywhere. A string of fucking hell. Fucking hell. A string of wins, Nick. A string of wins is what you're trying to say, mate. All right? Thank you. A string of wins. Together. And then, obviously, you've got Ipswich as your first game away. I know they've just beat Spurs, but that's a decent game to have. You know, Ipswich have only won 1 all season. I think you've got Everton after that. So you're talking about, with all due respect, sorry, Alex, relegation fodder. And then you got a couple of them to get into the Arsenal game, which you play in December. And who knows where Arsenal are going to be. We could, listen, is it out of the realms of possibility to say we could be either level with Arsenal or just behind them by the time we play them in December? In which case, if you go and beat them, which Amorim has done before with Sporting Lisbon, then you can go above him. I'm here for it. I'm absolutely here for it. I saw him leaving the club with the coaching staff being rumoured to join. Look, there's loads of people joining. Smash that like on the smash the like on the video. Smash the video. Do whatever you want. I don't care. Subscribe to the channel as well. Yeah, legends. Where was he at? I saw him leaving the club with the coaching staff being rumoured to join. I was at the stage where anyone but Eric for me, so even a less rude would have been fine. It would have been good if main managers had the win rate as the interim managers. That's from Daniel Raj. Yeah, Carrick had a great, well, saying that, Ragnick didn't, did he? Shocking. It was like 32% him or something. But I'd take your point. Carrick and Ruud. Yeah, decent. And obviously Ollie when he first came in. If you're weeding your garden and then you do not leave half the garden undone, you root out all the problems. I agree with your analogy and your metaphor that you're using, Charlie, but Ruud isn't a problem for me. It's not a problem for me. Random saying, question, is the Premier League back? The league is more competitive than ever and the teams are getting better. Listen, when we talk about the Premier League right now, yeah, you look at the table. I mentioned before, 4 points between Man United and Arsenal, who are in 4th. You're damn right. And Chelsea, sorry, who were in 3rd. 4 points between us and 3rd. That is crazy. You think about the season Nottingham Forest are having. You think about Brighton. Even Fulham are above Newcastle, Villa and Tottenham. Like, the top 10 now, super competitive. Super competitive, trying to push into that. Tottenham don't know their arsehole from their ear, mate. How Tottenham are the only team... And sorry to go off on a bit of a tangent here, but it's true. Tottenham are the only team who can go and beat Aston Villa 4-1, knock Manchester City out of the cup, but then lose to a shit Crystal Palace, who are 18th in the table, and then lose to Ipswich, who are 17th in the table. Make it make sense. I don't understand it. You've got Villa, who's gone on a bit of a tough run at the minute. Haven't only won 1 in the last 5, Aston Villa, I believe, in the Premier League. Newcastle, don't know whether they're coming or going. Sometimes they perform well, sometimes they look dog shit. Fulham doing bits. Jimenez, Harry Wilson coming off the bench, killing it. Brighton under Herzl looks fantastic. It's good, man. The Premier League right now is where it's at. I'm telling you, it is. Unfortunately, United haven't been where it's at, and we're hoping for that to kind of turn around. And Amorim is in the doors at Carrington. Met the staff, met chefs, met everyone in there, and this is a brand new start right now. However, one thing I will say is, and I don't want to be the negative one in the room, but we've seen this before. There was a lot of positivity when Ten Hag came in, the signings that were made. There was a lot of positivity when Ollie came in. He was like, we've given him the contract. Let's see how it does. I pray, and I am agnostic. I am an atheist, agnostic atheist. I pray that this one works out, because he seems like he's got the right character, the right charm. We brought a Sporting Lisbon content creator, who's obviously a fan as well, to speak to him about, you know, him as a person, tactically, how he is. I'm loving absolutely everything I'm hearing about Ruben Amorim. I really, really am. I love his philosophy. I love his style. How he integrates that with United players, I don't know, because I love the style with Erik ten Hag. You watch his Ajax team play football, especially in Champions League. You see how they did at the Bernabeu and stuff like that. You watch it, you're like, yes, please bring that to Manchester United 1,000,000%. He gets it. Oh, no, I can't do that. Can't play that with those lot. So Amorim's going to have to come in, he's going to have to identify, and he's going to have to make some really tough, maybe controversial decisions. Maybe he drops Marcus Rashford. Maybe he plays Antony at wing-back. Maybe Manu doesn't get in the side. I'm not saying he won't, because Manu's unbelievably talented, but there could be some decisions like that are made, and to be honest, if we're winning games, that's all I care about, is winning games. That's what we need right now. And it just goes to show, I was just talking about the Premier League situation there. You win literally a couple of games, you go right up that table. You push yourself into top 4. And I think United being out of Europe as a whole, which it looked like for the first, I know it was maybe a little bit knee-jerk, but for the first 5 or 6 games on the Ten Hag, you're like, we're definitely not getting Europe. Financially, that's such a big hindrance on the club when you want to spend in the summer. Maybe Amorim does want to go get a Gyökeres or someone like, or a Trincao in the summer. How are you going to convince players when you're not in Europe? You might not have the financial package to offer them. You know, these things pile up and stack up and become a massive, major problem. So getting him in right now was the correct decision for me. It's hard to say what he's going to do, what impact he'll have, because no one knows. We are going into the unknown with a little bit of a blindfold. Sure, we know how he plays against Sporting, and sure, we've seen him, and people have done the analysis. But the Portuguese league is a different beast in comparison to the Premier League. We all know that. Let's not play dumb here. We're not stupid. So he's got a mega job on his hands. And I actually think probably the toughest job in world football right now. I thought Barca was tough when Hansi Flick took over, but look what he's done since he's gone in. Look at Lamal, Lewandowski, Rafinha, the midfield, Dignino Martinez, all these players, like, they are cooking in the Spanish league. Madrid falling off. Like, you've seen the impact a manager can have. And I hope he can do the same. I really, really do. Let him be at United. That's from Mungroth Harrison. Let's see if there's any more quotes kind of flooding in, because obviously this is a very, very fresh news. So there's multiple kind of reports that are coming in. He's still, meeting a bunch of staff at the moment, literally as we talk right now. But yeah, we officially start off this new chapter, and it's exciting. I mean, just as this news broke before, I was literally editing an Amorim video, tactics in terms of how he sets up the 3-4-3, what players could come into it, his time at Sporting, why we're in this situation in general. I was halfway through editing that, and got a notification popped up. It was like, Laurie Whitwell, I think it was, saying Ruud Van Nistelrooy has left. So I was like, oh, I guess I'm going to have to stop editing. I'll go live and discuss it with the people. So yeah, 81 of you in the chat in a minute, 606 views so far. Talk to me, people. You're all very, very quiet. Let's hear. I want to hear your opinions. It's not just me, it's you guys as well. So speak up, man. Let's hear. Daniel Raj saying, if the Glazers were in charge, then we would have completed this season with the interim manager. Just shows the intent of INEOS. Yeah, I get it. It's a quick call in it that they've made, and I'm happy with it. Barefoot Dream saying, Noose at right wing back, Garner at left wing back under Amorim. Let's go United. Yes, because if you know Amorim, you know one of them, the wing back's a bit more progressive, and one of them's a bit more kind of sit back, a bit more pragmatic. So maybe that will happen. One thing I will say is I don't want to see Marcus Rashford as a wing back. Definitely not. Definitely don't want to see any of that business. I'll save my thoughts in terms of the predicted lineup, who I see going in there, because that is in that video that I was just referencing, that I was editing. So that's going to go out some point this week. Like I said, I'm halfway through editing, so that's nearly done. Random guy with a hot take. Højlund in Amorim's system would be better than Gyökeres. Listen, that's another one where you look at the situation with Højlund up top, and you're like, if you've been through his metrics this season, you know he's averaging 0.7 shots per game. 0.7 per game. Haaland's having 5 per game. Players like Jackson, Solanke's having 3 or 4 per game. He is lacking a bit of service, but likewise, he doesn't help himself when you play it into him and he can't, and his touch is like a fucking trampoline. Or do you remember he used to play Waller and he's like literally kicking it off a wall? That's his touch. He needs to work on that so much. And hopefully, with Amorim bringing in those inside 10s, they can unlock him a bit more, and the supply line will be much smoother. And obviously, you've got the wing backs who can kind of come forward as well. So, yeah, I think he will. I think he'll do well with Rasmus, because Rasmus, I feel, is like and this sounds super disrespectful, but don't mean it like this. Rasmus is like a wish Gyökeres, isn't it? Or he's more like a more raw Gyökeres. Like, they have similar qualities in terms of power, speed, strength. But I think Gyökeres is better on both feet. Obviously, a better finisher, he's more composed, and he can hold the ball up better. So he's got a lot to work until he gets to that. But I can see what you're saying, for sure. Have you seen the arrival video on United's website? No, I've not even got a chance to watch it yet. Because you know why? Because we go live first before anything. So the main priority was going live, breaking this news, speaking about it with you guys, and getting all your reactions, because that's what we love. No, we love it when moments like this, when news breaks and it's hot and you can just dive right into it, into the abyss. It's active. Random guy, Gyökeres is, my brain just went mad then. Gyökeres is 5 years older. Yeah, he's technically in his prime at the minute, isn't he? And if you're reading into his release clause, what was it, £63 million potentially you can get for it. If Amorim has that pull, I can bring Gyökeres over. Do it, man, please, because I don't think either Xerxes or Højlund can take the mantle for us personally. I don't right now. I think they're both too young. I think they're both got a lot of stuff to work on in the game. I think Xerxes is a little bit too slow, but I like individual qualities that they both have. So I'm watching the video of Amorim and the leadership of the club meeting. He goes around meeting everyone, and I must admit, I like this guy already. You could not read Eric Ten Hag. Amorim looks super excited. Gentle PS says, what random guy? Gyökeres is by far the second 9 in Europe right now. Kane first. Gyökeres is a beast. I'm glad you think that because he'll stay in Lisbon. No, listen, we'll take Gyökeres. We'll take it. I'm joking. Thought Ruud Van Nistelrooy would leave. Would hope he would stay. Steph saying 32 likes, 107 people watching right now. So if you're not smashing that like button, takes 2 seconds. I also would subscribe as well. It's absolutely free. And you're new when you're like, what's going on here? Who's this channel? What's this guy saying? Ruud Van Nistelrooy, if you are joining, has left Manchester United. I will read the statement out for you guys who was just joined as well. So, this is from Manchester United. Ruud is and always will be a Manchester United legend. We are grateful for his contribution and the way in which he has approached his role throughout his time at the club. He will always be very welcome at Old Trafford. René Hack, Gele Tenruela and Pieter Morel have also departed and we wish them well for the future. We will confirm the full men's first coaching composition in due course. If you are just joining, that is the news. Get your reactions in. Simon Stone just tweeted, Darren Fletcher to remain Man United in coaching capacity. Continues to be a link between the first team and the academy. So that's what Darren Fletcher is doing. So yeah, he's like a cockroach, Darren Fletcher, isn't he? He will out-survive anything at this point. Anything, I tell you. Anything. I would say no. Amorim uses wingers in wing-back positions. All right, let's play a game then, because we've got so many of us in the chat. We might as well, innit? Let's play a game. Give me 3 players who you think will do well under Ruben Amorim, and give me 3 players who you think is going to absolutely flop under Ruben Amorim, and give me your reasons why. Don't just say, I think Xerxes going to flop because he's quite slow. Don't say something like that. Be a bit more expansive, you know what I mean? Give me something, because I'll give you my 3 now. So 3 players who I think are going to do well. It's an obvious one. It's a tap-in, but it's Manuel Ugarte in it. You look at his metrics under Ruben Amorim at Sporting Lisbon, the reason why he was bought, the reason why Chelsea was interested in PSG, it's because he was an elite player under Amorim. You watch his performance yesterday, you can improve on that. You've got yourself a serious player there for 50 million quid. So Amorim is one for sure. Lenny Yoro, watch him, because he is back now. I think he'll be available for selection for Ipswich, as far as I'm aware. So Lenny Yoro on that right side in a back three, someone who's capable of defending 1v1, someone who's relatively quick, he's got a really good IQ for such a young age, plays like an experienced centre-back, great on the ball, comfortable defending wide. I think he's definitely someone to keep an eye on. And the third one, the third one is very interesting. I would say, if he can stay fit, Mason Mount. And the reason, and I know everyone's like, as soon as I said that, I went, oh, I get it, because he is never available. That's why I said if, which, you know, Ruben Amorim isn't bringing a fucking magic sponge in and say, Mason, and do that and rub it on his knee. I don't know if he can manage to stay fit, because I think those inside kind of 10 roles, you look at where Mount played his best football, it was under Tuchel at Chelsea in a similar kind of position. 10 goals, 10 assists, I think he got under Tuchel. He was really, really good there. So those positions is what I'm most interested by. I also think Ahmad as well, just to chuck it in there, in that half space, inside 10. I could see him cooking there. Really, really can. So, yeah. T2 Dearso with a great shout. Could this be a rebirth for Anthony as a marauding left wing back? I agree, T2. I agree. I can see that for sure. Last Stop Ahead says that video of him arriving is too good. They ooze his career. I'm going to have to watch this. Should we watch it together? Let's see if I can pull it up. Oh, will I get... No, I'll get done for copyright, won't I? I would have put it on the screen, but I was just thinking, yeah, I might get done for copyright, so I'll leave it. We need a left back. I feel like Liverpool are doing better than everyone because they're playing a balanced defence. Barefoot Dreams, very smart. That's dead patronising, isn't it? Dead smart. No, I genuinely meant that. That's a good comment. I feel like Liverpool are doing better than everyone because they're playing a balanced defence. Almost all teams are playing a centre back or right back at left back. Spot on. News Amorim work permit. Elsa Pinto. Hello, did the club announce? Yes, I've just been through the statement then. So if you go back 5 minutes or so, maybe not even that, you'll hear the statement. Random thinks Ugarte, Højlund and Mount, if he stays fit, will be good under Amorim. And he thinks Leacher, Rashid, and probably Maguire. Now, Lissandro, I can see why you're saying it. I get it, because Lissandro's not great at defending in wide channels. He's not quick. He's not physical. Obviously, he's amazing at progressing the ball. One of the best in Europe at that. But if you watch him against Porto, that's why I think he may struggle as that left centre-back. But I don't know. It's just the initial gut feeling I've got when I watch Amorim ball, which we can say now. So I'm sure there's a lot of players now who have already been speaking about to Manuel Ugarte, like what to expect. You know, what will he do with me? What role do you think I'll have? They'll have an inkling. I know quite a lot of them watched the game against City to get a feel, see what he's about. I know a couple of players already know about him. Obviously, I think Diego Dalot's from the Porto area? I'm pretty sure. Or from Braga, he might be. And then you got Bruno, who knows all about him. So Bruno Fernandes is the interesting one. I think, personally, he plays in one of those inside 10 roles. But then what happens with that squad selection gets a bit mad, doesn't it? Because the wingers, what do you do with the wingers? Rashford, Ahmad, Garnacho, Anthony, do they become wing-backs? Can all of them do that role? I don't think so. So then a couple of them go into selection for the inside 10s. And then that gets super competitive. And then you look at the midfield, who are going to be the two together? Casemiro, can Mount or Bruno do a role in one of those? You know, crashing the box, potentially. But then Ugarte and Casemiro, who do you keep those together because they look really good? Or do you bring in someone else? Exciting, man. I don't know. I really don't know. It's the first time with an international break where I'm like, you know what? I am looking forward to this. I'm looking forward to it. To see just little bits. I'll be looking at training clips. I'll be looking at rondos. I'll be looking at pictures, mate. Zooming in on them just to see what the crack is and what's going on. Looking at little quotes from players, see how they're finding it. I'm sure for the first 6 months, it's going to be rainbows and unicorns. And everyone's going to be skipping with sandals on, and it'll be great. And I'm sure there'll be a bit of a bounce. What I'm more interested to see is after 6 months, are these players still going? Have the conveyor belt stopped again? And they're throwing the toys out the pram and they're not happy. That's what I want to say. And if so, at least we've got a structure above us now they're willing to say, you know what, if you don't like it, piss off. I'll give you another niche shout as well for this back five, Harry Maguire. Harry Maguire, you could see in this role. 1,000,000%. Keep an eye out for that. Ahmad will be used correctly. Random guys just gifted 5 Real Red Talk memberships because he's a fucking legend. Absolute legend. One of my favourites. Appreciate you, brother. Thank you very much for that. Sorry, I was reading that comment then. Last stop ahead says Ahmad will be used correctly for the first time since arriving. Ugarte has the manager who turned him into the destroyer. Rasmus will got the focal point if attack suited his runs. Thank you for that comment. João Pereira, who I think that's the same guy who's taking over Amorim at Sporting. Anyway, imagine if it was him. In Ruben Amorim's system, the centre-backs are the build-up, the playmaker. Who you think at centre-backs with those qualities at Man United? Lisandro Martinez. 1,000,000%. Lisandro Martinez. Press resistance. When attackers go near him, he can just, slip. It's in a bit. He's got that long pass. Can play through the lines. Keep it short. Keep it ticking. He is that guy. I don't know where my thing is gone. My comments have just gone off. That's bizarre. What's going on here? Am I still live, people? Yeah, everything just went off then. That was very strange. Sorry, I was replying to a point then. I don't want to miss your comment. Yeah, Lisandro Martinez, João Pereira is one. I mean, De Ligt's not bad on the ball. He's okay. Maguire's all right on the ball. Yoro's better than people think, by the way. A lot better than people think. So keep an eye out for him. I think Diallo could blow up in the inside 10 position. What a time to be a Man United fan. Have no idea what's going to happen. That's from Random. And the recipients of the memberships are Neil the Scroll, Last Stop Ahead, Craig the Unicorn, Jarvis Cocker, and Sean Giles. All gifted memberships. So you get exclusive content, badge next to your name. You are now officially, whether you even wanted it or not, a Real Red Ultra. You're a Real Red Ultra. Legends. Welcome to the club, and hit that subscribe button like Dan says there if you are new. We're on 7,427 subscribers. Let's get to 7,500 whilst we're live. Let's see if you wonderful people can do it. Push, 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 push. Let's do it together. And welcome to the community, more importantly. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Madness. Mad news. Did not really expect it to drop at this time. I felt like at some point in the day. But yeah, it's like they've done a 9 to 5, and they thought Amorim's here right now. You had people tracking his plane and all that kind of stuff. So I'm excited, man. Really, really excited. Will I be watching England this weekend? Absolutely fucking not. Absolutely not. I sound like Leonardo DiCaprio, didn't it, in Wolf of Wall Street? Absolutely. Is this legal? Absolutely fucking not. I will not be watching England at all. I don't care about international football. I care about this club. I care about Manchester United. And I care about where we are going to go in the next couple of weeks. That's what I'm about. So, yeah. Chowdhury FC says, sack Ten Hag already. I don't know what planet you're living on, Chowdhury. But Ten Hag's gone, mate. He was gone after the West Ham game. Ruud took over 4 games. And now Amorim's coming in. So, yeah. Don't know where you've been, but Slow Sports. Abraham, sorry, I'm going to try to pronounce your name, but I don't want to butcher it. Abraham, is it just Abraham or Abraham Man? Abraham Man Hussein. Welcome, my brother, coach for Man United. Welcome to Ruben. Mount to replace Bruno. No, I mean, Mount's got to stay fit first. That's what we've got to worry about. He's got to stay fit. If he can stay fit, then we'll have a conversation. If not, he's going to become one of those signings where it's like, if he can do this, same thing with Luke Shaw. Someone we're not even mentioned. And the reason we haven't mentioned him is because he'll be back for 2 weeks and then he'll be gone again. He'll be injured. Whereas I look at Luke Shaw and I'm like, look, here's a shout for you. If you can keep that man fit, put him in a cryo chamber for 12 hours a day, do whatever you need to, give him a bionic knee, calf, fucking do the full works on him, make him a robot. Get Elon Musk, send Luke Shaw, go and see Elon Musk, you know, put some Tesla fucking network in him or something and make him play. You could put him in that left centre-back role, take Lissandro out. There's a controversial shout. I'm going to say it. Put Luke Shaw in there and you're good as gold because he's quick enough, he's strong enough, he's great on the ball. And I think we've seen it before in that left centre-back role. Spot on. That's what I'd do. But if wishes were fishes, the whole world would be an ocean, innit? As JR once said. So, yeah. Why Ruud Van Nistelrooy assistant coach? He's not an assistant coach anymore. I feel like people are just like in La La Cuckoo Land at the minute. Would you keep Malacia or Shaw? Says Stephanie Griffith. It's a tough one. Obviously on ability, Shaw's a better left back. I think Shaw's one of the top 5 in Europe. I'd probably say when he's fit. Malacia's had so much time off, so it's so hard to even know what he's going to bring to the table. He looks like the part. It looks like he's just been doing, dumbbell squats since he's been injured because he looks absolutely jacked and shredded. But that doesn't mean his football ability is going to be top notch. So I don't know. I have to make an assessment when Malacia comes back. I did like him when he first came in. I thought he was a terrier, very aggressive. I liked certain parts of his game, but I just haven't seen enough. And I haven't seen him in so long now. I just forgot what he plays like. So both of them, I'll have to assess them in the next month, and then I could answer that question. I don't think it's fair to kind of answer it in a minute. But it's a good question. Chowdhury saying, Xerxes is not a striker in my opinion. He should be a cam instead of Bruno since Xerxes' style of football is playmaking. Also, we need to sell Rashford, Shaw, Mount, and Rasmus possibly. Wow. That's what Amorim will do. That's from Angelo Santos. Just like Matthias Rees from Sporting. It's reported Alvaro Fernandez is returning. Yeah, that's one that I could definitely have a conversation about because he's got a buyback clause, hasn't he, for 16 million. And the reason, so when it first got announced about Alvaro going, I think it was Sam and Chivy who was on the show. And he was talking about they shouldn't have let him go. We need a left back. And I understood it. I got it at the time. But for me, I didn't think he was capable, much like Harry Amas as well, who we've not even spoken about, in that left back role, in a back 4. I didn't think he was that comfortable. I thought he was questionable defensively when I watched him in pre-season. So I came to the conclusion that I was all right with that decision, especially because there's a buyback in there. We can bring him back. It's cool. Don't worry about it. Now Amorim coming in, obviously he's been against Alvaro. You've seen how well he's doing at Benfica. Would it be the worst thing in the world to go and spend 16 million, bring him back and put him into the system? I don't think it would, because one thing you'll at least get from him is consistency. Alvaro hasn't got a bad injury record at all. Obviously still young, but you need players who are going to be available. Balance is key in this. Balance. I know what lineup I would have in my head, but like I said, the edit is halfway done for Ruben Amorim 3-4-3 system. What to expect. all that good stuff. So, yeah, I'll drop that at some point, probably towards the end of this week, I'd say, because still got a bit to go, but I'm excited for you guys to see that, so make sure you check that out. And turn on the notification bell, because some of you guys might have missed when we went live, and that might have slipped through the net because you didn't have the notification bell turned on, and that would have just dropped down on your phone or tablet or whatever you're watching me on, and you could just tap it there and then. 4 away from 50 likes, says Steph. Yes, please, if you are joining, hit that like button, keep smashing it. It's time for a new chapter at Man United, isn't it? Something fresh, something fresh. Much like this channel, it's fresh, it's new, it's interactive, it's what the fans want. Not calling you guys fans, I don't really like that, but I'm just saying it's different from the one of the biggest channels, let's just say, who's just controversial bullshit and clickbait nonsense. This is proper stuff, real, authentic football. Ipswich beat Tottenham, the bottle jobs. Be careful about that, because we play Ipswich next, so if we lose to them, we're never going to hear the end of it. I think Man United, I need striker from Sporting from Sweden, obviously on about Gyökeres. We've got Charlie Malman saying, question is, do we scrap the barrel and get Fernandes, or do we scrape the barrel, sorry, or do we wait for Benfica to sell him and get 50% on the sell-on fee? I think the club will do the latter. Maybe. João Pereira says, thank you and have a great show. You will not be disappointed with Ruben. I'll be here following from Portugal. Let's go Manchester United. Thank you very much, João Pereira. Appreciate you, brother. And your insight on Sporting as well. Yeah, do more talking on the pitch. That's it. That's it now. He's got 2 weeks to work with the players. 2 weeks to identify who he wants, who fits his philosophy and model. 2 weeks to see what players can come back from injury and be fit and available. I mean, I'm sure magically all of them will be available now. Oh, actually, do you know what, boss? Your car's all right in a minute. It's not too bad. It's, you know, it was feeling a bit tight when the other lads were in charge. But now you're here. It's absolutely great. I'm ready to start tomorrow. Let's see who's fit and available and comes back. Exciting times. But you have to kind of separate the things. It's sad that Ruud's gone, because I did like what he did. I was a fan of him. I appreciate what he's done during this interim spell. Yeah, he's handled it with absolute class and humility. And wherever he goes, if he has got another job offer, if he can become a manager, wherever, which he's definitely going to do, I wish him all the best. And we'll probably end up playing him in the future at some point. That always seems to happen. So yeah, much like Erik ten Hag, I wished him the best. Obviously, different scenarios. But I hope he can, wherever it is he goes and does well. And likewise with the other coaches that are leaving. To be honest, we didn't really hear much from Rene Hack and the other guys. It was kind of, Ruud was always the one, because he was an ex-player. He was more affiliated with him, and you knew more about, naturally. So yeah, I wish him all the best and I appreciate what he's done. Fun fact, Johnny Evans has been at Manchester United for more than a decade. He's also the last remaining player to play for Sir Alex. Aditya Munjadar says, I think we'll play 4-2-4. And Barefoot Dream says, be careful about Ipswich. They've been lucky to lose some games. I know. I've watched him closely. They played a nice brand of football under McKenna. Obviously, you got the McKenna narrative as well, who used to be an assistant to Ole, who's coming back. So, yeah, the whole story is, I'm sure Sky Sports run it right now, writing the whole narratives down and stuff. So, yeah. Look, I think as much as I love to stay live, I want there to be, what's the word I'm looking for? I want there to be a reason to watch live, not just waffling. I don't want to be waffling to you guys, and I think we've been through a lot of stuff there together, and the views have been amazing. The people who've come in have been really nice, respectful, and made some great points. So appreciate every one of you guys. We're on the road to 10,000 subscribers, and you don't want to miss it. So look, have a wonderful rest of your day. Sad that Ruud's gone, but very, very excited for Ruben Amorim coming in. I can't wait to see what he does with this group of players in the league, in Europe. And let's bring in this chapter together. I'm going to be live again tomorrow, 12 o'clock. Don't miss it. Maybe even again tonight, depending on what happens. I don't know how news is going to break. But all you guys that have been in the chat, legends. Absolute legends.